What's going on, people? Well, technical problems. We are back. I don't know if you heard the intro, but what's going on, everyone? 3-1 win, massive win. Of course, there's a lot to talk about. I thought it was a convincing win. The lines will be open as well if you do want to call into the show to have your say on the game. Yeah, look, smiles on the faces after Larnaca, the last home game. It was scary. It was a bit scary. I mean, losing 1-0 against Larnaca, I thought it was a wake-up call going into this game. But this was a massive game. This was a massive game. And a lot of people, non-Palace fans, were pretty much watching this game thinking, what's going to happen? They lost against Larnaca. How are they going to do in the next game? And this was a basically close enough must-win game. And I thought we delivered. I thought there was no complacency from the players, even from the starting 11, which we'll talk about. I was a bit nervous about the midfield too going into the game, which I thought they played great. But I thought the mentality today, even from maybe Palace fans against Larnaca, everyone was predicting, comfortable win. And today was like, you know what, we just have to show up. We have to show up. If we do show up, we'll be at our best. And when we're not complacent, which I don't think was really complacent against Larnaca, I don't think that was a massive problem. But maybe like it just felt like there was a bit of I don't know what's the word to use. You just thought maybe against Larnaca we're just gonna go in there and just beat them. Against Alkmaar, it felt like the opposite. It felt like we have to play good, and if we play good, we'll win. And today we did. We did. Of course, we missed a penalty. There's that. Loads of VAR decisions, it felt like, during the game. But I thought overall we were the better side. If you exclude the first 10 minutes of the game where, we didn't do much, but we're talking about 10 minutes of the game, and Alkmaar was on the ball, off the ball, giving us something a bit differently. It was a bit of a problem. But then after that, I thought after the first 10 minutes, even when we did miss that penalty, we had the double chance, well, 3 chances, it felt like, back to back and back. Hughes hit the crossbar, there was an open header which went straight to the goalie. Yeah, after the missed penalty, I didn't really have the feeling that it's going to impact us. In fact, I thought it done the opposite. The momentum kept building and building and building, and I think today the quality was the main difference. Tactically, we were all good. No major concerns. I know we didn't keep the clean sheet. I thought that was a bit poor. The defending in that attack, we just kept them on, and they managed to score the goal. But overall, I thought it was comfortable. I thought it was a comfortable win, and we said the same thing against Brentford. Today we had to, and we did. And loads of positives. Saw with the 2 goals. I thought Lacroix was fantastic in defense, and great finish for his goal as well. And you know what? The midfield too that I was worried about, not in particular Hughes, it was pretty much Lerma, because of what we saw against Larnaca, where Larnaca just sat back, and there wasn't much use of Lerma. However, I was a bit worried when the lineup first came out. Then I did say maybe for set pieces he could be big, and today he was. And not only just set pieces, I thought in the last 2 games, to be fair to Lerma, I thought he's been very solid for us. I thought today, on the ball, off the ball, he didn't really look out of place. I know the main concern with me, I don't know about you lot, with Lerma would be sometimes his passing ability. But today, when I was watching the game, I know he had 1 or 2 misplaced passes, but everyone does. Even Adam Wharton has those as well, and we rave on about him. He looked fine. He looked fine, and I really have enjoyed Lerma's performances, and you could see how much of an impact that he has on the squad, especially when we have set pieces. You look at the first 2 goals today. I know the 3rd goal from Sarr was just fantastic. That's what you expect from Sarr, running in behind and using his pace and strength. And we saw it. It was a fantastic finish. But the first 2 goals, you could see the impact of Lerma being in the team. So it was great. Alkmaar have got European experience, so it's not like a side that are inexperienced. They know what it means, and today we showed up and we got the job done. So yeah, I disagree with this. I thought Lerma was decent. He was decent from minute 1 to So throughout the whole game, I thought Lerma had a very, very solid game and did help us as well. And you know what? It's not just Lerma. I thought tactically, I don't know what you lot thought about the game, but we won the ball in dangerous areas today. And I was a bit surprised about Alkmaar's approach. I thought it played into our hands. When you're looking at, sometimes, yeah, they did go long from goal kicks, but when they did try to play it through midfield, I thought we got a spot on. We got spot on and we won the ball. And in fact, we could have created a few more chances. Sometimes our final ball wasn't on point. But winning the ball, especially in that midfield area today, with those midfield two, Hughes and Lerma, it was great. It was great, and we create chances from those, winning high up the pitch. And as I said, I thought Alkmaar played into our hands. I really did think that, and it's a good position to be in. I think we're right now ninth, so 6 points in 3 games. We're in a decent position, something to build on ahead of the Brighton game. That's now Liverpool, Brentford, Alkmaar, and if we can beat Brighton as well, 4 wins going into the international break, that would be great. But the most important thing overall today is that, yeah, Alkmaar tried it and it just simply didn't work. But if you do want to call into the show, you can do so by clicking on the link. I'm going to go through some comments as well today. But before we do, as it's late, whoever calls in, I'm just going to try to bring them on ASAP. Let's bring on Chris, aka Bollocks. What a game!
Matey.
What a game!
Yeah,
3-1. I was a bit worried going into the game, I'll be honest, because of the opposition preview about Alkmaar potentially sitting back and trying to hit us on a counter attack. But it was a total opposite. They tried to play football, and as I said at the start of the show, I thought we played into our hands. But what was your thoughts on the game?
It was a brilliant watch. One of the most fast-paced games I've seen for ages, which is good, especially because it's we're used to Premier League football, when normally European football is a lot more slow-paced and interrupted. I think it took the officials a while to get used to the pace of it all, but when they did, I think they were relatively good actually. Like it was an all-action game, great moves going forward from. Well, I thought they're called AZ, but they're called RZ apparently, according to the commentary team.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
So they, they had some good moves going forward too. So many nutmegs I lost count for both teams, and just sort of people just forcing their way past plays from each team. A lot more physical than I'm expecting a European game to be, and just a great watch. We were better overall, but Alkmaar were good competitors and had good support, and yeah, good chances. They could well get to that top 8 too. Even though it's not going very well for them at the moment, I think they might get themselves. I don't know what the rest of the fixtures are, but I just looked at the results, and there's crazy results all over that competition.
Yeah,
So
it's the league phase. I mean, it's important today that we got a win, to be fair, because it's just, you don't know what to expect. You just want to get that win, want to push on, and we did. But what do you think was the difference today at home against RZ in comparison to the game against Larnaca?
just a bit of some composure from someone of finishing. Well, Sarr obviously did his job, but Mateta didn't do it so well. That was a great through ball to him for Sarr's second goal. Yeah, just I don't know how to describe it. Almost just collectively like bundling together to force that ball in the goal. There's so many times that there were stray passes from us, and you'd think our players losing the plot here. Like if any would do 2 or 3 bad things, but then pick out a good ball. Same for Pino. Same for quite a few of our players. Just persistence and battling really hard to get the ball back, get the ball forward, like a sort of scrum or something, like a rugby match. Just trying to push the ball forward completely unconventionally and get it at the goal. But it was great fun, good entertainment. Maybe not the most high quality and finished, like polished display of football, but good fun to watch.
Yeah.
At Larnaca, I don't know. Larnaca was obviously cleaning the game a lot, as was the ref. We were very naive in that one. You could tell that any time anyone went near the goalkeeper, it was a foul, but we kept doing it. And that feels like a distant memory, luckily, because so it was good fun. And I think we get hopefully another really good game against Strasbourg and the results we need to get through, ideally automatically.
Yeah. I mean, if we beat Strasbourg, it seems like we should be, even now. I don't know. how it was last year, but you'd think would at least make the playoffs now, even if we didn't win the next 3 games, if one draw or something. I don't know exactly how it works, but we're in a better position now. Let's just say that going into the Strasbourg game. But of course, next up is Brighton, and so we've got that. And today the midfield two I thought were great. Other than that, I don't know if you disagree, but I think the lineup will be the same in terms of the attack and the defense. But you bring in Warren and Kamada, or is there, you know,
It's
the when you look at Lerner's last 2 performances, for example, he's been performing well in that midfield, or do you know, try and keep one of those two in midfield against Brighton?
I've always liked Lerma. I never sacked him off in this season like others have. Just need to get him a run of fitness. And Hughes and Lerma should have been off to see off Lineker, so I don't blame Glasner for choosing those players then, and he stuck with them today to give them another chance, and they did up their levels, and maybe there is a bit more sharpness. But it's a tricky dilemma for what to do against Brighton, because we know Wharton's been a bit ill, and Wharton is another example, Kamada's another example of what I'm saying. So many stray passes, but just when you think they're out of the game, they did something pretty good. Pass completion stats would be horrible today for both teams probably. But as for Brighton, I hope you have that energy. I'm surprised Uche didn't come on earlier, but I can only think Glasner's trying to get Mateta that goal back in the bag again, and after he missed a penalty, try and get some confidence so he's ready and believes himself that bit more for Brighton. But I think by keeping him on longer, like he's done in a couple of games, it might work. It might be counterproductive when he could get Uche on and get Mateta rested and get him hungry again. But he had a really good game in terms of hassling their centre backs and still a nuisance. So it's easy to moan about Mateta, but I still think it's a problem. I still, you can see that the defenders were fed up trying to mark him and trying to handle him. They couldn't really.
Yeah, Uche came on today, and I thought he looked okay. I know he wasn't on for long, but you know, he seemed like especially his strength, etc. I don't know what you thought about the appearance off the bench, but Nketiah will be coming back after an international break, so that's not really much of a worry. But of course, Uche, I don't know if you've seen it, but he's been liking posts about his lack of playing time on Instagram, so he hasn't been happy. But you know, when you're looking ahead now to the Brighton game, we've got 3 wins in a row. We've scored, I think, 8 games in the last 3 games. Are you confident? Or do you think fatigue can play a part? I mean, Lacroix did say, what was it? I just lost his name on. Yeah, I just found it now. He said about the Palace's hectic fixture schedule. He said, I'm a little bit tired, but I'm happy. So, you know, tiredness is a factor. The players are feeling it. Do you think that could be an issue on Sunday?
It could be, and it's the reverse of when I in Europe last year or the year before, Brighton, the season before.
Yeah, before. No, I don't think we were in Europe.
Okay, yeah. Okay, no, I was just trying to work it out, but I still think we'd be fired up enough for that one. And we have got, well, a few of them have got a break, most of them have got internationals. Good news about Nketiah. I didn't know that about Nketiah, actually. And Uche, he will get his moments. It's too early to judge him. For me, anyway, he hasn't got his run of games yet, or even a good amount of minutes in one match. But he'll come in useful. We'll need him at some point, definitely. And as you said about the whole Kamada thing's a bit of a dilemma, because no one's really secured their spot aside from the back 5, in my opinion, because Kamada's sort of wavering a little bit in his form, and a few others, you know, none of them are really nailed on. So it keeps it interesting, and we have to keep rotating.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, for the Brighton game, I still expect Kamada and Wharton to start in midfield. I'll be honest. I'll be surprised if they don't, despite Lerman, whose performance, especially Lerman's last 2 performances. So yeah, let's see what happens in that game. But Chris, always a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully, we can talk about another win on Sunday. Big game.
All right, cheers, D. Take it easy. Cheers,
okay. If you do want to call into the show, you can do so by clicking on the pinned comment in the live comment section. Let's bring on Animal next. Animal, you enjoying a nice walk? Is the weather nice over there?
The weather's lovely. Yeah, it's I think it's around 17, 18 degrees at night at the moment. So yeah, it's good. It's good. But what a game!
The weather's nice, Palace. Yeah, exactly. Great win. What was your thoughts on it?
For the first 12 minutes, I thought, oh dear, like we're out of our depth. They're coming at us really strong. If we let in a goal, it's going to be a mountain to climb. But then we shifted up a gear and we got into the game, and then we were just set sort of levels above them. Really, I thought it was a really hectic, fast display. I agree with Chris about our wayward passing, especially in the first 15 minutes. They were trying to get their sort of one-touch, two-touch passing going. It wasn't really coming off for us. But we persisted. And what I saw out there today was fight. Everybody was fighting. Mark impressed me. Max impressed me. Chris impressed me. Like everyone was out there fighting. Hughesy had a great game. Lerma had a great game. I think everyone had a really, really good game out there today. And yeah, super happy for the boys. And what a game. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the biggest worry going into the game was the midfield too. I don't know about you when you saw the lineup. I was like, oh, Hughes and Lerma after what we saw against Larnaca. But I thought they were great, both of them. And we saw Lerma's impact, especially with set pieces as well.
Yeah, I thought the game was going to be moving too fast for Lerma, actually. I thought that was, I didn't mind seeing him in the starting lineup because of how good he had a game last time. But as soon as I saw the way that Alkmaar came out, because they were coming at us, they had five attacking us at some points and trying to sort of overrun the midfield. But yeah, it was good to see Lerma sort of catch up to the speed of the game, get battling, get his long throw-ins going. He was a threat in the air in their box. Really, really happy with the performance all around. And Hughesy, I wanted a goal for him. He deserves one, and he should have got one today, but unfortunately it wasn't to be.
I asked Chris the same question in terms of what was the difference between Larnaca and today. What's your thoughts on that?
The way Alkmaar played, they're a more attacking team. They're going to come to us. They're going to try and score, whereas Larnaca have 9 men in their own half and one guy up top and one in goal. You know, that's what it is. We find it hard to break down a low block and the defensive team. And like we said, it's something that we're going to have to figure out all the same. Because, like I said in a comment, Larnaca is the one game that has royally pissed me off this season because we should be beating teams like Larnaca. We should.
Yeah, the good thing about Strasbourg, then they're similar in terms of, they're going to be attacking us. So if we can perform on a similar level to what we've done against Alkmaar, then hopefully we can get another 3 points, which would be massive. But in terms of where we stand in the Conference League table, 6 points after 3 games, are you feeling a bit more confident now that we can, finish in the top 8?
I'm definitely happier. I've said since the beginning that I think that we can win this tournament. But I think maybe people are getting mixed messages from me because the other week I said temper expectations, but that's in the league. And the loss to Larnaca, it pissed me off. It hurt me, So, I hope that we can knuckle down, concentrate, take on these teams. Give them respect as well. Each and every one of these teams that comes up against us, they're in the same competition as us for a reason. And we need to give them due respect because sometimes, for the football gods take over and we can lose or whatever. The Larnaca game is an example of that quite clearly.
Yeah, we've got Brighton next. That's going to be interesting. Yeah. Lacroix did say, he's feeling a bit tired, but of course he's just coming off playing 90 minutes of football. But when you're looking at the amount of games that we played, especially recently, and Brighton having an advantage, is there any concerns from you going into that game about potential fatigue? The good thing is Kamada and Wharton, they didn't start today and we still managed to win, so they should be fresh.
What was all of that guffing I just heard with Chris about starting positions with Kamada? Kamada's been brilliant. The last few games, Kamada's been great. There's no worry there with Kamada. I think Wharton and Kamada are still our nailed on starting central midfielders. But yeah, if Max is saying he's feeling tired, I think that is a little bit of a cause for concern. Mark and Max, they play a lot of football. Max has played every minute, I think, hasn't he? Every minute of every game.
Feels like it, yeah. The only player that's really been rotated that I can think of right now is Chris Richards for Canberra.
Yeah. So they play a lot of football, these boys at the back. Luckily, they don't have to do as much running, but Mark gets up and down that pitch. Max gets what can I say about how much distance they cover in a game? But if Max is starting to say it does concern me a little bit. But I think something that goes our way as well is we are actually leveling up as we play more football. It's like leveling up a Pokemon. yeah, sure, our players are playing a lot of football, but they're also learning a lot more, and we're getting more comfortable with playing the game our way. And yeah, I think we're leveling up, and I just hope we don't get any injuries, like touch wood, because that would be a disaster.
Well, we've done relatively fine so far when it comes to injuries. We haven't had that many. Nketiah is the only one. Of course, Decore is still out, and Riyad. Funny enough, Riyad was meant to be in the squad. I don't know why he wasn't. Not that he was going to play in the squad, but Glazer did mention that, but he didn't end up being in the squad. I don't know what was going on there. But yeah, we just have to survive the next game, and then afterwards, the international break. Of course, some players will be going to join the national sides, but there'll be players, for example, like Lacroix, who will get that rest, and that would be massive. That would be massive. Are you feeling confident then against Brighton? After
against Brighton? Brighton's form has been on the upturn, hasn't it? I mean, we've always got one eye on those interesting people. So yeah, I don't know. I'm confident, but I know we've played a lot of football, so it's going to be hard.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, I mean, we done double over them. We beat them with 9 men last season at Selhurst Park. So yeah, I still feel like we can beat them. We got like one last push, then the players know that they've got a break, so they'll be up for it. And after this game especially, and the last 3 games, to be fair, the players, I think they're looking forward to it now. I think we're building momentum. I thought that Liverpool game in the League Cup was massive. It was massive for us because that 3-0 clean sheet gives you that confidence. And it's like after that, you saw what we've done against Brentford. And then today, we managed to score 3 goals again. And, I know we didn't keep the clean sheet, but overall, I thought was relatively good defensively. So it seems like that momentum, we've kind of found it again. And that will definitely play a part against Brighton. So yeah, let's see what happens. But look, hopefully we'll catch up with you after the Brighton game, and it'll be great to end the international, this period right before the international break with a win. But let's see. But Animal, take care. Enjoy your walk.
You too, bro. Yep. Thank you. Up the Palace.
Up the Palace. Take care. That was Animal having to say. If you do want to have your say, you can call into the show by clicking on the pinned comment in the live comment section. Let's bring on Tim. Tim,
come on.
Massive win. 3-1. It was a game with a lot of questions and eyes about is this a must win? Going into the game, and you know what? I thought the whole team was great from basically minute 10. I'll say not minute 1, because the first 10 minutes they did look a bit dangerous. But apart from that, I thought we had full control despite missing a penalty in the game. We still kept our heads high and pushed on.
No, I think you saw the difference in levels there, but I also think that I wonder if Alkmaar was a bit naive, because they did come at us. Now, to be fair, like Animal said, in that first 15 minutes, I did think what they were doing is trying to cut off the route into JP. They didn't want to give him the ball to hold up, and they certainly didn't want to give the one-touch pass, so they were kind of jamming up the center, and they did get the ball. They were turning it over. They were coming at us, and so those first 15 minutes were a little bit nervy. But then we just started going into the channels, and we were flying. As soon as the ball started going consistently into the channels, and 2 things I thought were interesting. There were moments when JP came short, and what he was doing is getting the ball to feet and turning, and he was winning fouls over and over again, which I thought was just another example of just how quality he is. Yuzi was also doing it. Yuzi actually did it more, and he was moving the ball really well. Yuzi was distributing fantastically well. That was great. And then just getting it out wide, getting it in the channels, running at the back line. And man, we were at it like after that first 15 minutes. It was great to watch. It was really fun to watch. That is the Palace that we know we can be, that dangerous in attack. Would be nice to be a little bit more clinical, but there are some great ones. I want to get your take on this, D, because I wonder if we're going to see Lerma get some more minutes, because 2 things I thought that were interesting. First, the long throws. He is now the long throw taker. didn't see Chris. If Chris Richards was on the pitch, you didn't see Chris taking any long throws. It was all Jefferson Lerma because this is flatter and it's more of a threat. And we, plant a center back up closer to the ball to get the flick on, and it was a threat every time. The other, and I don't know why, I think you said this, D. Glasner planted Lerma at the back post, and he must have hit the back post header like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, he was a target. He was a target in set pieces.
He was a target.
To win the first goal, and it worked. And it worked.
I'm surprised we didn't score from it. He kept winning it every time. So I wonder if we're going to see more of that. I mean, I think Lerma significantly improved his chances of getting additional minutes these last 2 games. He's been brilliant.
So what do you do if you're Glasner? Because I do think Kamada and Wharton is our best 2 in midfield. But
I agree.
Lerma adds something different when it comes to set pieces. I guess against Brighton, I think Kamada and Wharton probably make a bit more sense. And then if we're struggling to create chances, which I don't think we will be, because Brighton are not going to be sitting back, are they? So we saw it today against Alkmaar. We create chances. Even when teams sit back, I think he's gone kind of over the top. It's not like we struggle every single. It's just Larnaca, which we lost that game, and then questions were raised. Right. But Fredrikstad and Larnaca, that's the 2 games, and I think both of those games, it's not about teams sitting back. It was about the back 5. That was my main thing, rather than the team sitting back. So, what do you do if you're Glasner in the Brighton game? Lerma adds that, things, to set pieces, which we've been very good at, even today.
I know. I hesitate to say this, but I do think it is an option. I'm not sure it's the option versus Brighton. I think he will play the strongest team he believes he can play. But I wouldn't mind seeing this. I would not mind seeing to give Max a rest and to give Mark a rest. I would not mind seeing Lerma.
Can we afford that against Brighton?
No, I don't. Probably not. Probably not. But I'm just saying.
That's the problem. Like, surely we've got one more game. With Mark, it's a bit different because he will be playing for England. But Max will get that rest in the international break.
Yeah, I mean, you probably look. I'm not sure he's going to rotate, but I'm saying you could see this happening in another game. Probably not in Brighton, but Lerma playing on the left, Canvo on the right, Richards in the middle. I don't think we would lose something, but I don't think we'd lose that much. I do not think you play Lerma. If you have Kamada and Wharton available, you definitely don't play Lerma over one of those 2. But do you find ways to get Lerma into the game and get him some minutes? I think he's just shown you that he adds a dimension to the team that for me is welcome. I love that. I love that he is adding this dimension now.
Yeah. And I think that's the right word to use, because I did feel like there were questions about what can Lerma add to the side about a few weeks ago. We know he's very good off the ball, but on the ball he can be limited. But saying that, in set pieces, he offers something different to what any other midfielder offers to us, or mainly any other player on the team. So he does add it. So maybe I still start with Kamada and Wharton.
I would too. I think they are
Lerma be that option. We can use that as a plan B if you do want to go set pieces, which is good. And he wasn't even too bad on the ball today. I thought he was decent.
No, I thought he was good.
Set pieces. I think set pieces kind of was his highlights because of how good he was in the air. But even when he was on the ball, last 2 games, not only today. But what do you think of Pino? We haven't spoke about him yet.
Yeah, I thought Jeremy was pretty good today, and you could see So I'll give you the good, but let's start with the bad. The bad is that you could see that he's still not completely in sync. There is the attack where I don't remember who's starting it. I'm not sure if it's Pino that starts it, but we're getting into the area and Pino is moving himself into position and JP leaves the ball for him and he's not there. So we're like, not really in sync. But then let's talk about the good. He was exceptional getting into areas. He really adds a lot to the press. And for the Sarr penalty, he's the one that delivers a beautiful ball. He draws in the defender, perfectly cushioned ball. Sarr wins the penalty. You could see there's so much quality there. It's getting in sync with the other two in the front three, but the kid's a threat. He's got a good delivery on those free kicks. He was finding Lerma over and over and over again. Like he's very, very good. He's very, very dangerous. He also wins fouls. And again, I think he adds something that we didn't have with Ebbs. Love Ebbs, but the way that the press triggers with Pino versus the way it triggered with Ebbs is totally different and way better, D. So I think it's just about getting in sync with the other two. But when he gets in sync with the other two, I mean, we haven't even seen how good this attack can be yet, which is both encouraging and scary.
Yeah, I agree. I think Pino, there's still another level for him to get to. At times, he can be weak. That's one
goes
area.
down too easy. Yep.
Yeah. But that I don't know how that can change, because if you look at his build, he's not like the biggest of players, so that's one to look out for. But I think he can still adapt a bit better.
Yeah.
So I'm not majorly concerned about that. But yeah, I thought he had some good moments and also some, dodgy moments as well. It's like the pass, for example, to Sarr for that penalty, which we won, was great.
Yeah.
The timing of that, where Sarr ran in behind and the goalkeeper literally took him out, and then, of course, Mateta ended up missing a penalty. I thought that was a great pass. So yeah, I think he's still growing. It's still early days. I mean, we're in November.
He's only 23.
Yeah.
23.
He's young. No one really talks about his age, but he's got tons of experience for his age. To be fair, he's won the Europa League with Unai Emery back in Villarreal days when Emery was there. So he's got experience, but he's still got room for growth. And the Premier League, I think he said it as well. It's different. Like he's adapting to it after he scored a Liverpool goal. I think that's what he said. So
what do you think of? What do you think of Animal's point here? Because I think this is right. He's saying I think Uche can give us more minutes under his belt. Would like to see him get more. He had roughly 10 minutes today, D. And I thought you said this before. I agree with you. I thought he was doing the things that I think Glasner wants him to do. He was getting about. He's getting into the areas, trying to win balls. He was also defending from the front. I thought that was, he needs to earn it. He needs to earn more minutes.
Really fit in? When Eddie comes back, where does it fit in? Eddie has been playing as a number 10, so maybe he can still play that number 9 role. But where do you think Uche's best role, or a role which he will play the most, could be?
I think it's up top. And I think Eddie will also play up top. And I can't wait for Eddie to be back, because what Eddie's done is shown a level of versatility that is so important for this team. He can, like you said, he can play in the 10. He can play up top. He gives us a different look when he comes on the pitch, and it gives Glasner tactical flexibility because he can run into areas, and he does this pretty well. When he plays on that left-sided 10 and he runs into areas, he does pretty well doing that when we've seen him recently. So can't wait for Eddie to be back. We need him back. But I think Uche is the natural substitute, and will become the natural substitute for JP. Now he needs more minutes, like Animal is saying, in order to.
Why do you think he hasn't been getting those minutes?
It's got to be in training. He's just either he's. But to be fair, I think what we're seeing though is he may not be displaying all the quality that Glasner needs in training, but he's been getting more minutes as Glasner has been bringing him on, getting him progressively a few more minutes, which is what he used to do with Devaney. He'd give him just like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, which means that at least to me, this is what I interpret this as, D, is he's in training and he's fighting. And he's like working really hard. He wants minutes. He's hungry, and he doesn't want to be on the bench. and he's showing the manager he doesn't want to be on the bench. So fair play to him. Like, he's got to keep doing that.
Yeah, and I thought today's appearance off the bench was positive, so hopefully he can build on it. But yeah, a few times he's come on, well, especially the Everton game. I just thought he looked a bit silly, punching the Everton defender.
Yeah,
It wasn't a great look.
Tarkowski. Yeah.
More than that, yeah. So maybe he's still learning on the go, and let's see what happens. But in terms of the Conference League standings, we're ninth, I believe.
Right?
Yeah,
I think we're
so
ninth.
good position to be in.
100%.
We've got the 3 games coming up: Strasbourg, Coops, and Shelbourne. How are you feeling about where we are?
I feel pretty good about that. I think that Strasbourg is a really big game. That's a real test to see where we are. I certainly, Shelbourne and Coops are not the tests. Those aren't the tests. Strasbourg is
what you saw today, though. Strasbourg, if you know, if they come out attacking, then you can see what we can do. But of course, I think they've got more quality than Alkmaar. But
yeah, they're the Chelsea junior side.
Yeah, they are the Chelsea B. The Chelsea B. I mean,
Right.
they've even got Ben Chilwell there. I think, I don't know if he plays or not, but
is that true? Okay.
Yeah, Ben Chilwell. I think he went in the summer to Strasbourg. So yeah, a bit more positive based on today's performance and maybe how Strasbourg approach the game. Or I mean, they are a quality side. They are a good side. They are going to be the best side we've faced so far, and also one of the sides that up there as to go to the finals. There's a lot of people having high hopes on them.
Well, I think if Strasbourg decides that they want to play like Chelsea play against us, I think we will punish them. Now, the question is, can we punish them enough? Can we deliver with, can we be clinical and defend with resilience and intensity? Because if so, that could be a wonderful result for us and really set us off nicely. We'll see. I mean, I'm curious. I think that game might be Thanksgiving here in the US.
Because I was with Patrick today, of course, and was talking about it. Yeah, it's on Thanksgiving. So
oh boy, that's gonna be big. I'm not. That's hard. I'm usually eating on Thanksgiving, and I try not to eat before the Palace game. So that's gonna be. I get too nervous.
Is it?
I get too nervous. I get too nervous. I have my coffee, but
the game will be. I don't know. It will be at 8 p.m. I think. So I don't know what time.
It's like 1 o'clock. So it'll be like
yeah,
and you have an early dinner on Thanksgiving, so it'll be like right after. The game is over. It'll be like, all right, here we go. But yeah, man, I don't know. I do think we have a really good possibility with Strasbourg. I think we're up for it. And clearly we've got, Glasner has his team playing. So we'll see. D, just a quick question, because I saw this in the chat. Do we know if was Riyadh left out of the lineup because something happened? Like
yeah. Glazer spoke about it. I saw it as you were speaking. He mentioned it. He said that he hopefully is going to be good for Brighton on Sunday. He slipped and had a reaction with his knee in training yesterday. But he's hoping, they just thought it's best to keep him out of the squad.
Precaution. Okay.
Yeah. But hopefully he can be good for Brighton on Sunday. Yeah, and even then, even if he doesn't make Brighton, it's not the end of the world. I'm surprised that he was even going to make this squad, to be fair. He just came back to training. I know it doesn't necessarily mean that he'll be playing, but the fact that they're still making his squad is still, it's very quick.
It's
the amount of time he's been out for.
Yeah, it's significant. I think it's symbolic, but yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So he should be back. And then, it'll be the same squad. I don't know if he'll be on the bench. I don't know how it worked. But Kleiny came on today. That was interesting.
That was interesting. Yeah, that was.
There isn't really an alternative to Munoz. That's the only biggest worry. We cannot afford an injury to Munoz.
No.
We simply can't. Yeah. So
no. Hopefully, Cardine's abductor injury is not serious because.
Yeah, we don't know what's happening with Kapora. It's still a bit uncertain.
Kapora, apparently, there's no timeline. I was I
Yeah.
sent a note in an athletic article to Matt Woosnam, and he wrote back and said like, no, there's just like there's no timeline. Just he can't even train with the way that his back is. So that's not great. But Cardin's, I would doubt if he's out with an abductor injury. I would hope that means he does not go to Trinidad and Tobago for the international break. He gets recovery, and we have him for later on this month because we're gonna need him.
Yeah, when we come back, it's crazy.
I
That's
know.
the period from like November to like the
Yeah.
New Year. It's just gonna be
It's gonna be
wild.
massive.
It's gonna be
It's gonna
wild.
be-
But it's very
absolutely
important that we
massive.
finish in the top 8 because I was looking today at half time, like what happens if we don't finish the top 8? So it's not too bad. I think the playoff game would be Feb, but if we do finish in the top 8, then the round of 16 games is in mid-March.
Yeah.
So that would mean we don't have European football from December onwards for like 3 months, which would be massive.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we would only have, depending on how far we go, about round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals. Like, it's not going to be that many games as well. So, if you finish in the top 8, we can focus on the Premier League. But
yeah, makes a difference.
We got November, December still. If we can get a positive result against Strasbourg, hopefully the ideal scenario is that we go into that Cupes game, Cups, or however you pronounce it, and we can just rotate. That's the best scenario. Like
I hope so. I hope so because
Yeah.
I want us to do. We should talk
Next
about
two
the
games
Brighton
big.
game.
Yeah.
We should talk about the Brighton game, but just super quickly
Okay.
on that point, I want us to be successful getting that Leeds game moved, and I really, really, really want us to go after it at the Emirates in the League Cup quarterfinals if we can do it. I trust the manager; he'll decide what he needs to do, but I believe they're beatable. I really do. I don't think we were that far off of them the last time, and I would like to see us go for it at the Emirates, knock them out, and get into the League Cup semifinal. But again, this is why things like the Brighton game is so important. So, like I said to you, you could rotate, and I could see it happening. But this is such. I mean, Brighton at home, massive. It doesn't matter when it is on the calendar. It's a massive game. Like we can't lose to that lot. Can't lose to them. We've got to. I mean, this was important. So this one's good, and it'll put us in good stead for Sunday. But come on, man. By the way, I can do that. If you do want to watch along, it's on Peacock, so I can do it if we need to. I'm happy to do it. So I guess put it in the chat if you want me to do the watch along.
We'll do it because
international
break is coming up. International break is coming up. But yeah, it's a case of like I think we do get at least 2 or hopefully 3 out of 3 wins anyway. But it will be nice if those 2 wins are in the next 2 Conference League games rather than the last Conference League game. So that game we can, by that point we're fine and we can rotate. Well, Arsenal, to be fair, they've requested the same thing. So Palace and Arsenal requesting the same thing about the Sunday game being moved to Saturday. Then hopefully, I mean, some common sense prevails.
I hope so too.
And we can do it, which is interesting because, of course, the reason why we're playing on Sunday is because we've got the Conference League game on Thursday. I think it's the Cubes game before the Leeds game. So Glass is pretty much, I guess, on that stance saying, he's kind of banking on that game on the Thursday right before the Leeds game. We should be fine and we should be able to rotate, and then we go Saturday and Wednesday.
You hope so. Like that's why this game was so important. For the league, I think this game on Sunday matters for so many reasons. I loved, by the way, I'm usually not that guy, but I have to say, D, hearing the Brighton trolling on like the 65th to 70th minute was kind of funny. And I did
imagine what it's going to be like, but it would be amazing. I'm pretty confident about that game. It would be amazing if we beat them as well. Like that, I would hate to be Brian. I'll be honest. Because Sunday the amount of chance, and you're going against Palace, which we've won their FA Cup, Community Shield, coming off a European win as well. They're just mudded. They're mudded. But I guess they've made profit, right? I don't know how much profit they made this summer, but they
Well,
win. They make profit every summer.
yeah, they do.
That's what they're
They
known
do.
for.
They sell early. They sell a lot earlier than we do. But I'll tell you what, like, what gives me some confidence going into that game is that Brighton this season have been really inconsistent. They've been woefully inconsistent. So they've been a little bit better recently, which means if history holds, they are due for an absolute shocker, which would be great. I would love that. But I expect us to go strong. I think Glasner wants to win this game, and I would love it for just because JP looked a little dejected that he didn't get his goals this game. I would love him back out there, get his goals. I mean, JP loves he loves a big important goal. He loves a big moment.
Yeah, this is the perfect game for JP.
Perfect, right? Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, this is the perfect game. This is the perfect game, and I thought, look, he wasn't his best of games, but still his first touch. Even today, at times, bringing in others. I know he missed that penalty, but I still felt like he brought in others to the game, which is
he was
what
important.
He was important. He was important in today's win. But I'm looking forward to Sunday, and then getting that time off. Anything else from the game today that we haven't mentioned?
I don't think so. I mean, I thought it was a really good team performance, and it's really nice to be able to kind of just come on the chat and be like, man, was that enjoyable? How many times have we come onto the chat and be like, I don't know, that was either nervy or terrible, or like we're all just barely survived it. Be like, man, that feels great. Our team is in good position. And I love it that I think most teams, I think this is fair to say, D, you tell me if you think it's not. I don't think really any team wants to play Palace right now. I don't think anybody wants to play us. And I love that.
I think, before I say my reason, why do you think that is?
Because I think we make all phases of the game really difficult. First of all, we defend really, really well, and we put pressure on teams defensively. But more than that, I think it's terrifying to see Sarr breaking, to see Munoz breaking, to see Mateta, breaking into open areas. I think we really scare teams because they know we can hit them. They know we can hurt them.
Yeah, I think defensively, it must be annoying to face us. Because of how good we can be, and we've seen it many times, especially against top sides. I know we've lost against Newcastle and City with the big scores, but we normally do give them a game. Even Arsenal, you saw it. They only beat us 1-0 from a set piece, and against Brighton, I mean, the type of football that they play and what we play is we've seen it last season. I think it should suit us again. The only concern that I have is potentially fatigue, and that's the only thing that could hold us back. If everything plays in our favor, I don't think they've even been that great this season.
No, they've been inconsistent. They've had good games.
Leeds recently, but
yeah. They've been really inconsistent. So we'll see. I hope they show up and absolutely crap the bed again, because that would be great. I would love that. I like nothing more than celebrating a big win over the Seaweed. But this was better. Like somebody said, Brighton is irrelevant to me. They're not irrelevant to me. It's still a rivalry that I still care about. But boy, I will say it is really nice.
I mean, a win would be great in terms of the league table.
But this one was more important. Like to me, this one was more important. And they're not irrelevant to me, but this one was more important. And so I go into the Brighton game feeling good. I feel really good.
Yeah, let's see what happens. But look, people, we're going to wrap up there. If you have enjoyed it, drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. We'll be back tomorrow with the player ratings, and then on Saturday we'll be having the match preview dropping in the afternoon, and then Sunday, well, Tim said it, watch along reaction and potentially a vlog. So it's going to be busy next few days coming up. So keep your eyes peeled for everything. But that's it from us. And until next time, up the Palace.
Up the Palace.